Hi, Abigail. Thank you so much for joining me today and talking about your experience with working with me because I'm really passionate, as you know, that life is for living and not therapy. And people need to know that, this is available for them as well, even if they don't believe it right, maybe right now.
Mm.
So thank you very much for being here. Um, the first question I'd like to ask you is, what did you want my help to overcome? What health issues were there that you wanted to overcome?
So I reached out to you because I had discovered not long before that I had endometriosis. Um, it wasn't a something that I was living with my whole life. It just sort of appeared, made an appearance. I ended up in A&E a couple of times with stomach pain and found out that's what I had. And so I just decided that maybe reaching out to someone like you would potentially help. I was looking at all avenues, but I thought having some sort of emotional trauma therapy might be something that would help me.
Hmm. So what was life like living with that issue?
So, so as I mentioned, I ended up in A&E one evening with unexplained stomach pain. Um, and then a few weeks later, it sort of died down. And then it happened again a few months after that, and it was much worse. And for a few months, I was very uncomfortable, bloated, tightness around the midsection, almost like having, if you're a woman and you're watching having contractions, giving birth, that type of feeling, but just all the time.
So
So it was really
really painful.
uncomfortable. Yeah, and I was always a bit nervous that I was going to have another unexpected pain episode. I didn't know when it was going to come or what I could do to stop it from coming. So I was always a bit on edge, not knowing if and when it was going to happen again.
Yeah. Okay. So what was that like? Just it must have been really quite um awful, really, to sort of not really able to be planning your life, I suppose, in case that flare up happened.
Yeah, it was all a very new thing for me. So I wasn't used to having a health concern that I had to think about or take into account in my everyday life. So it was really stressful, and just how it all appeared all of a sudden as well. I found that quite difficult in
Mm.
itself. So yeah, it was a lot, physically and emotionally, just to have to deal with this thing I suddenly had.
Mm.
So that was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine. It must have been awful. What have you tried before you found me?
So I tend to always go with the along the natural routes if I can. So I worked with a functional doctor on things like diet and supplements and lifestyle. Um, and I was doing that for quite a few months, which helped, but it was still there. Not as bad as it was, but I could still feel something,
Hmm.
whereas normally you don't feel anything. So um, yes, that's what I did. So I put a lot of work in and time and effort into all of those things um, over many, many months.
Mm. So many, many months. So a lot of time was spent then, sort of concentrating on trying to be well.
It was daily. From the minute I woke up in the morning until I went to bed, I was like, right, what should I eat now, drink now? What supplements should I take? Try not to be too stressed. It was constantly on my mind. It was maybe a bit too much, but it was a constant thing. And I spent thousands of pounds on working with her and with buying supplements every few months. So it was a very expensive and time consuming thing that I was dealing with kind of every day.
Mm. Wow. So why did you decide to work with me?
So I I had read online that working on releasing emotions could be helpful for endometriosis, that there was another spin on it. So I had that in the back of my head.
Hmm.
And your Facebook page randomly, or maybe not so randomly, popped up. And I had a look at it and I read some of your posts and I thought, oh, I really like the sound of this. You know, what this lady's writing really resonates with me. So I followed you for a while. And then one day I'm just going to reach out to her and ask if she thinks she can help. So I did.
Clearly, I said no.
Yeah, you said no, and that was it.
Okay, so yeah, that's wonderful. So what was your experience like of working with me, Abigail?
So it was very positive.
Awesome.
I felt that you were very caring and patient, and that you were also really invested genuinely in making me feel better. And when I did feel better, that you were genuinely happy, which
Yeah,
I
I
thought
am
really,
ecstatic.
yeah, which is really nice because it's not always like that, you know.
I suppose. No,
It
but
was more of a personal touch. Um, and I thought, you know, the fact that we didn't have to meet face to face, that it could be done over Zoom in the comfort of my own bedroom, was really convenient. And obviously we didn't have to meet many times at all. So it was a very positive experience, and it was very quick. And you know, you weren't the sort of person who said, oh, I think you're going to need about 10 or 20 sessions to get this as a difficult
never
case.
say that.
You never said that. You said
I
the
never
opposite.
say that to anybody. No,
No.
no.
So you were very honest, and really truly there to help, you know,
Mhm.
rather than take advantage of people or something like that, which obviously not. So
Mm.
yeah, it was a very positive experience working with you.
Awesome. What was it like actually in the session? I mean, you don't have to go into like the what you went back to or anything, but the experience of it, the general experience. Was it scary? Was it you know, how did you feel before you worked with, you know, you decided yes, and then, you know, how was
Um,
that?
so initially it was a little bit of trepidation because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, I've never done anything like that before, so I really had no idea. I think,
Mhm.
but you quickly put me at ease, and it was more of just having a sort of a deep conversation
Mm.
with someone who really was listening
Mm.
and trying to help, and but obviously going quite deep. And so I felt that it was very therapeutic in and of itself, but then obviously it did more. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think anybody can do it, you know. It's just
Yeah,
you're
that's beautiful.
lying on a
That's
bed talking.
beautiful. So, because when we think about healing trauma or healing emotional stuff, it feels heavy, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
feels difficult, it feels hard work. You just said it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it wasn't hard work at all. It was
No.
actually nice to talk about things like that, and maybe think about things I've not thought about before or not for a really long time.
Hmm.
But not in a stressful way, or, you know, in a therapeutic way.
Yes, yes, beautiful. And not in a come back next week and talk about it again. Let's release
Mm.
it. Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you. So, how many sessions did we have together? Yes, two sessions to overcome endometriosis. Isn't that just absolutely awesome? Really? It's not
Yeah.
usual in my world, but it's awesome.
Even after the first session, I wasn't quite sure if I needed a second, but I thought, because it had already gone, but I thought let's do it because surely I need another one. Surely.
Hmm.
So, but I really felt like even after the first, there was a huge improvement.
Yes.
So two was enough.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, I still
Isn't it?
can't believe it.
I can't, well, I can because it's my normal sort of
Yeah.
stuff. But yes, it should this should be normal. This is the thing. This should be normal. And that's really why I'm so passionate about my work, because it should, you know, we've got pain, we've got symptoms, there's emotional reason, let's release the emotional root cause. And guess what happens? It's just like a vehicle's dashboard. You know, you need more gas or petrol in your car, fill it up, the light goes off. it really is that it can really be that simple. So yes, just 2 sessions, that's amazing. So what's life like now, sweetheart?
Um, I don't even really think about it. I still try and be, healthy, and I take my supplements and I eat well, but I'm not constantly thinking about that. And I don't have any symptoms at all. Um, so yeah, I mean, life is like it was before it all appeared all of a sudden. So yeah, that's great. And you even said to me after the second session, if you feel any twinges or anything like that, you just send love there. And I had it in my head that, okay, I'm going to do that. The next time I feel a twinge, I'm going to send love to that area. I didn't get any twinges. So I never got to do that with all the good intentions.
Yeah, well, that's good because love is a healing frequency. So, and the thing is, when we go through trauma and stuff, we tend to disassociate that part of ourselves. So, by giving it love, you're integrating it, and it is healing in itself. So, yeah, I'm glad you didn't need it though. That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we touched on it a little bit because some people may feel listening nervous about investing in themselves, or may have invested in themselves before, done things that with other things all over the place, and they might be sitting on the fence of believing that this can work for them. What would you say to them?
I would say, well, for me, it was like the last piece of the puzzle, and I knew it. And it took me a while to take the plunge because it is a big investment and you don't know at the time if it's going to work or not. But I would say if you're suffering with pain of any kind and you've gone through various avenues and it's not worked, then got to give this a go. I mean, there is nothing more important than health.
Mm,
Nothing.
no.
So I would try every avenue available. um, and just be open to things that you might not have been open to previously because there's so much that we don't know and that we don't understand,
Mhm.
um, and there's nothing to lose really.
No, that's right.
Okay.
Because every session I get to the root, and every session there's a lot of stuff that's released. So there's nothing happening. It's not a thing in my world. It's not. It's we just go to the root every single time. So yeah, whether the symptoms are released immediately, I can't promise that, but we do get to the root and we do release a lot of emotion. And so that's wonderful, isn't it? So why would you recommend working with me, and why specifically?
Yes, I would.
Thank
uh,
you.
Very, very fast results, very, like I said before, very convenient. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to, you just do it over the computer. I initially, I kind of immediately had like I felt that very positive vibes from you. Felt that you really were very passionate about what you did, and you really believed in it so much yourself that it made me feel like, wow, okay, this sounds like the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and like I said before, I just felt you were very calming and patient. And if I had like an emotional breakthrough or a realization or something, that you were so genuinely excited for me. And that was really nice, you
Mm.
know. So yeah, I had a great positive experience. And I would highly recommend people reach out to you and kind of see if you can help them.
Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. Anything else you want to add? I think you've said it all really, but is there anything else that you want to
Yeah,
say?
I think I've kind of said it all.
You have. And I think that the thing is, it's not frightening. It's and the comfort of your own home. Some people think, that they've said, oh, over Zoom or over online isn't what they want because they'd rather have it face to face. They feel it's more personal that way.
Mm.
Say to that.
No, I disagree. I didn't really feel there was any difference, to be honest, because you're just listening to a soothing voice. And you could see me, I could see you, so I didn't really feel like we needed to be in. I felt like we were in the same room. It didn't make any difference, because it's really just listening to you, and you can do that over the computer just as well.
That's right. I believe that too. And I think personally, you being in your own comfort of your own home sets you up for success even more, because you're relaxed in your own home. You're not thinking about how many hours or whatever it's going to take you to get to mine, or having somebody, a stranger in your own room while you've got your eyes closed. That can feel quite intimidating as well, can't it? And so you know that you're safe. You're in your own home. All you're doing is listening to my voice, and we just go with the flow and then release it all. I think that's I like the online personally. I think it sets the client up for success, like you just described. You're relaxed, you're in your own environment, you've got nowhere to travel, nowhere to think about parking, and just carry on with your day at the end of it.
Beneficial.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and working with you. And I'm almost sad that it only took 2 sessions, because I love working with you. But I'm also very, very grateful that that's all it took, so that you've got your life back, and that's really what it's about at the end of the day. The client, anybody having their life back, so they can really start living and enjoy family time and enjoy their, whatever they want to do. And, just living the full life with health and wellness is how we're supposed to live. Thank you.
You're welcome.